Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Miami University Twitch channel. Today, we have an epic round 2 of ESC League of Legends with Miami University taking on the University of Toledo in what should be an epic clash.
It's going to be a great throwdown. It should be pretty spicy. I'm really excited. We got a bunch of new changes to look forward to.
hmm
There's a million things that Riot Games was so gracious to add into this new season of Noxus.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the changes that are interesting you?
Well, first of all, you'll notice that we no longer have Summoner's Rift. We
Yeah,
have Noxus now. So you'll
yeah.
see that the map is no longer with the bluish tint, it's reddish, representing Noxus. Basically, just cosmetic changes, some turret changes. But let's get into it. We have a new epic jungle monster,
Yeah.
Otacon. Ooh.
Boo.
Otacon spawns at 20 minutes.
Mhm.
He's a new epic jungle minion, and he will spawn in the river, top side or bottom side.
Depending on where the most action has happened on the map.
That's right.
And Otacon can spawn in two different forms. That's right?
Yes, he has his voracious Otacon form, which is a slightly easier one to kill. Those are for games where there's a little bit less action going on. But voracious Otacon gives 40 bonus gold to each champion takedown for the rest of the game.
Mhm.
That's can add up over time. And he also gives all players on that team one revive within 150 seconds of killing voracious Otacon.
And this buff is particularly impactful. You'll see it's been very prevalent in pro play. It's very similar to like a GA, except you don't respawn right where you are taken down.
hmm
You are sent almost immediately back to your base. They're changing that in the next patch because some. You may see it in these upcoming games. You get a huge amount of tempo on the map because you can basically throw yourself with very little consequences at the enemy team, and then just if you get at least one or two takedowns, you're up gold
hmm
and you're up tempo on the map because you just immediately respawn, and you can use that to maybe end the game.
Yeah. And Otacon's other form is the Ruinous Otacon. Ruinous Otacon will spawn when there's a little bit more action happening in the games. The what when you kill Otacon, this version of him, he gives you a little bit slightly different rewards. So on taking down Ruinous Otacon, you get a 25% increase to all epic monster rewards for the rest of the game. That means your dragon buffs are going to be a little bit stronger, your baron buffs are going to be a little bit stronger, and that's also retroactive. So your dragon kills from earlier on in the game will be even better later on.
Yeah, it's particularly impactful if you get things like grubs, anything. It buffs any if you prioritize objective, it's incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of this objective. A lot of teams have been prioritizing it, and it's similar to like a sneaking a baron. It's a really good strategy. It can get teams that are ahead even further ahead, teams that are behind, way back into the game. So
hmm
I'm really a big fan of it. We just maybe need to look at the numbers a bit because it's looking a little strong, but it seems like they're taking a look at it.
And
So.
alongside to that increase in buffs from the other epic monsters, you also get 6 blood petals. Isaac, what are blood petals? Let me tell you. There are little things on the map that you can attack and collect, and they give the team that collects them 25 experience each, as well as a bit of adaptive force, which makes your champions a little bit stronger.
Yeah, so adaptive force, for those who don't know, will is converts to either whatever your champion is primarily building, either ability power or attack damage. So it's just like a little buff, and if you really prioritize going around the map and collecting these blood petals, they just spawn like little plants and they show up on your mini map. If you hit them, the team generally with a lot of them gets noticeably more
hmm
XP, noticeably stronger. So it is something that we want our teams to keep an eye out for
Yep.
because a lot of teams may ignore them and not prioritize how strong these things can be, but really they can be a game changer.
Yeah. And with Otacon spawning at 20 minutes, the timers for the other epic monsters have changed a little bit. Rift Herald will now spawn at 16 minutes instead of 14, and Baron now spawns at 25 minutes instead of 20. So it'll shift the tempo of the game just a little bit.
Yeah, and there was something else, some other big change. What was it?
The
Feats of
feats of
strength.
strength,
Yeah,
yeah. So we no longer have first blood gold. We no longer have first turret gold. We have feats of strength. This is kind of designed to give the teams an even chance at getting a little bit slightly ahead in the game. So, like I said, no more first blood gold, no more first turret gold. Now, to get a feat of strength, there are 3 things you can do. There's warfare, which is the first team to kill 3 enemy champions. There's first turret, that's one of them. And now there's also monster slaying. The
yeah.
first team to slay 3 epic monsters gets that feat. To get the buffs from the feat, you have to do two of those three things that I just listed.
So oftentimes, it used to be at the very beginning of the season, the feat of warfare used to be just getting first blood, and that one they found was really kind of just, oh, you invaded or something happened, and then some team got it, and was almost immediately put in an advantage for this kind of competition. But now that it's three takedowns, it's a little bit more balanced. Um, but yeah, I mean, once you get two out of those three things, like Isaac said, you're given a buff that allows you to, or it gives you empowered boots.
Hmm.
So if you owned boots, or you buy boots, they have the default boots just have an increased stat to them, whatever that may be. Any boots that you buy will be stronger, and then if you have two legendary items completed, you
Hmm.
are able to buy even further tier 3 upgraded boots that are supposedly pretty strong. I mean, some of them are. I think personally, if you have the gold, it's better to invest in a legendary
I
item.
agree.
But there's
I
certain
agree.
ones that if you can build them, like the Swifty boots,
Hmm.
they're incredibly powerful. Flat move speed is such a great stat, but like the berserkers, they hot fix them, but the sorcerer ones
Yep.
shoes, they're just all right. I mean, there's it's a great thing to have late game, but really I think generally item power is going to be better. You're going to want more just like a, an amplifying tome, a
Yeah.
blasting wand. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm sure the teams that get the feats of strength tonight will probably end up building these empowered boots. We'll point them out on stream. They look pretty cool.
Yeah.
They got new art. And speaking of new art, one other thing is, and this is something that Isaac just experienced today.
Yeah.
The new summoner spells, the art on
They
them
changed
has
my
changed.
icons.
Yeah, the heel looks, let's
Terrible.
just say,
The
we're
teal.
just gonna
Yeah.
say interesting for now. Yeah, I would agree though. I think it's a little bit of a downgrade. Most people would say they changed it to be a bit darker, maybe to match this
Hmm.
gruesome Noxus theme,
Yep.
this time of war. And we also got a great new cinematic, which was awesome. I really like
Yeah.
that.
Well, speaking of summoner spell changes, we have a change to teleport itself, not only its
Oh,
icon. So teleport now has a new look. It's no longer like the channeling like you used to see. You now become like a Kennen lightning ball.
you become like an REQ.
Yeah, and you zoom across the map to your teleport point. It's slightly weaker, slightly slower. The channeling time decreased from 4 seconds to three, but the traveling time increased a whole lot.
Hmm.
It also has a shorter cooldown, and now because of that, to balance it out, you can teleport towards and minions right
Anywhere.
from the beginning of the game.
Yeah, you could teleport anywhere. And the thing is, as well, teleport flanks are kind of a thing of the past because now the enemy team, if you're trying to sneak up on them, they just see a giant glowing
Yep.
orb flying through the sky. So really, you can't get the jump on people like you used to, which was a big part of the fun part
Oh yeah.
of taking TP. Those bot lane ganks, that was a lot of the joy that could be had. But you know what? It's different and it's new.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that comes into play. I like that you can teleport anywhere, and it's still a good summoner to take tempo.
Mhm.
I'm still a big fan.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get to see some of those cool new changes tonight. I'm sure we will. We're looking forward to it. We're gonna go for a brief break, and we'll be right back when the game starts.
And welcome to Noxus. First game between Miami University and Toledo for round 2 ESC League of Legends.
And look at that Victor. The new Victor model
Yep.
is something else we got to look forward to. They really, in my opinion, the skins look a little weirder, but they're made to look more like his arcane counterpart. He's a little bit thinner. And they really only changed one major thing about his kit. Now every time, once he reaches all of his evolution stages, his ult gets a takedown, it becomes bigger and lasts longer. So if you get enough takedowns, it can become this massive storm that is super effective in team fights.
Now, another thing to note here is that HBTX is on Shaco. You don't get to see this often, and it's for good reason, because it's always banned out. This guy is an absolute menace on the champion. I'm excited to see what he does in this game.
I am as well. And I mean, taking a closer look here at the draft, Miami has a lot of what we could say are powerful champions, especially towards the bot lane. Ezreal, a really prolific pick right now. But along with that, Caitlyn is also incredibly popular. And Toledo opting for more of a tanky top side with that Zac and that Mundo. So the game goes too long. They get some hard steel stacks on the board. They're going to be pretty hard to chew through. I don't see a lot of tank damage coming through from Miami's side in terms of, I mean, the Toronto can build Bork. There's some Leandri's potential there, but, you know, this is really kind of a ticking time bomb. HBTX already invading the jungle, getting the buff stolen, and bullying the Shaco level 1. I believe, yeah, he's used Ignite already, but Shaco's forced, or Zac is forced to do an early recall. That's really going to affect his clear and his XP. He's not going to get any of his bottom side jungle, and HBTX is going to just clean up all these camps, going to grab the Gromp and probably move up to the Wolves.
Yeah, that is terrible for Gambit. I mean, he keeps his flash, but HBTX getting in there, getting that Gromp, he can now path up towards the red side of the jungle to maybe take that. But he's gotten 3 of the 4 quadrants of the jungle, put Gambit on the back foot. That's going to be really tough for him. A little bit of trading between Quagert and Mr. Potato in the mid lane. HBTX showing up, trying to steal the Raptors too. This guy's a menace.
And he's just back into the jungle. A nice veer on the Shaco box. He's going to get some damage down on Gambit. Gambit still does have that GA passive, so he will pop back out into those little blobs. That's why it makes it a little bit easier to clear the jungle. But Shaco just all over the place. HBTX running the map. And Gambit is just down to 2 CS. I
Oh my
mean, this
god.
guy just does no farm. He's not going to be able to get his red. And we'll just see where he decides to path. He is going to grab his wolves. HBTX did leave those intact, but he doesn't have any of the big buffs. You know, that's a huge part of your early levels in the jungle. And he's just being set so far behind. It's going to be a really tough game to play out.
Yeah, it's really tough for Gambit right now. It looks like he's pathing towards down that bottom scuttle. I'm sure HBTX might try to take the top one before backing, but a little bit of action trading from Final Boss of Ohio against the top laner of the University of Toledo.
Oh, and Lord Bonk Bonk, one of our new additions here in the bot lane, trying to hit that WQ combo on the Ezreal, going to get blocked, but the Ezreal Leona bot lane is pretty safe option, scales up pretty well. It's going to have great poke damage, but we'll see what they opt to do with that.
A little bit of trading up in the top lane. I don't think anything's going to come from this.
Pretty even lane state right now.
Yeah.
Really, it's just kind of smacking each other and not much really resulting from it. HBTX starting out with a huge lead and actually opting for the green jungle pet on the Shaco for a bit of added tankiness.
I also want to point out that HBTX on that first back bought a Dark Seal.
So
he's showing aggro right now.
Yeah, he's saying we're going to keep that energy. Mundo going really weak on the top side here. Demolish being procced. HBTX in a perfect position for a dive. Let's see what happens. Final Boss of Ohio taking that tower.
The two-shift poison just coming in and getting that first blood for Miami University. That is one step towards that feat of strength.
Yeah, and HBTX is helping him clear out this wave. Going to get the shove in. Gambit, in return, invading the bot side, trying to get some of this XP back. But HBTX, with that first blood, is going to be even further ahead in this game state.
29-13, 2 stacks on the Dark Seal, 9 smites down, or 9 minions down on that jungle item. HBTX is looking in a really good spot just 5 minutes into this game.
Yeah, and he's going to have so much pressure on this map. With Shaco, it's so hard to keep an eye on where this guy's pathing. Like I said, he just shows up mid lane. It's going to get huge amounts of prio for Quaker and going to help him have the first move in this lane and the agency to just kind of run.
And here's the thing. When HBTX gets stronger, he just poses a bigger threat for the squishies like Mr. Potato, like Camoray, like Simplest Sage over there. This guy's going to get really dangerous really fast.
And I think the top laner of Toledo knows that. He's bought the 2 control wards possible because that's the only way you're going to see Shaco coming for some of these ganks. But we do have a gank here from Zach. Really great Q. Looks like Ezreal was probably going to fall here to Kaylin, and he does. Beans getting low herself, but it's going to walk out of there and just, with her tail between her legs, she makes it out. Final Boss of Ohio collecting these platings, getting a little low, but it's going to start the proxy. But it is a little bit dangerous. You know, he's getting low in HP. Using his passive is absorbing life from those minions, but it is a little dicey. Mundo is deceptively dangerous. Quaker taking a trade here mid lane.
I'm a little bit surprised that Gambit was able to get that gank off. I mean, if I'm playing bot lane right now, I'm putting my words all around those bushes, waiting for him to jump in there. So
it's definitely been a game of the 2 junglers.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see Final Boss of Ohio getting a great proxy here, but we do see Janna roaming up, and
Zach again.
Zach in, gonna get the Q. Final Boss of Ohio a little greedy here, but can he make his way out? He does. Proc the GA. Another more trades in the top side. Beans is here to support, matching the roam with the Janna. HBTX is in the area taking the grubs. Beans is just going to try to facilitate the escape, but HBTX is here to help the fight. He's incredibly strong right now. No passive for the Mundo. He's weak, but he does proc the ult. Final Boss of Ohio kind of backpedal a little bit, and Mr. Potato is in the area. No ult. HBTX is over the wall, though, trying to steal away some of these frogs, but he may have overstayed his welcome.
Oh, what a juke.
He would be giving down, oh wait, hold on, he's still up. He's got his boxes up, but he isn't going to be able to remain invisible while he's under the tower, and he is going to fall to Mr. Potato. What looked like a good play there from Miami just turned into a bit of overextension into the enemy's jungle, and a great roam by Mr. Potato to equalize the numbers there.
I think they just got a little bit too excited right there. I mean, after Beans roamed up. I think getting that stun, procking the Zac passive. I think at that point you just got to run out of there, take what you can, maybe go for the grubs there
Yeah,
too.
I think you peel off. You just try to take what you can, get the grubs. Beans is going to spot Gambit here on these grubs. It feels really bad to give them away. HBTX is in the area. He's going to steal
Right
one
away.
away. And Beans is falling with the Ignite, and that will be Gambit falling to the support. And crucially, HBTX does get the assist, so now we're all even for the feats of strength. But something crucially to note is whoever slays 2 of the Void Grubs actually does get the Epic Monster. HBTX is back with the shenanigans in the topside jungle.
That was a
Toledo.
huge pickup for HBTX. Getting the 2 grubs, that's one towards that feats of strength for the epic monsters. Kind of unfortunate that the Leona got the kill there. But you know what? Any gold to get in HBTX's pocket is gold that Miami can use to get themselves further in the head. And you can already see we have a 1.7 gold lead already forming. I think a lot of that's in the Shaco against the Zac right now, but you can also kind of see it with the Trundle going into that Mundo.
Yeah, but to Toledo's credit, a lot of the gold is in exactly where you'd want it. And with Victor picking up that 1 kill, you see he gets accelerated progress on his Hexport, but we do see HBTX going for a gank here. Let's see if Mr. Potato does proc the Shaco box, but HBTX has to backpedal because Quiggert is not in the area to support. And they are going to pick up that Drake there for Toledo. That's important feats of strength progress. But really, what I'm looking at is who gets the next takedown, because that's really going to be the deciding factor. Because getting the Warfare feats is a big part to progressing the whole to getting these boots, the state of the game. And I do imagine that Miami should be able to pick up first tower. I mean, I haven't seen the state of bot lane recently, but I imagine... Oh, a big combo there onto Mr. Potato. Silenced with the ult, but Quager's just going to backpedal. It's going to be a trade of ults there. And HBTX is in the area, but he will be spotted by the Victor.
You also saw there for a second when we got to the gold lead that you can see that HBTX is 1k gold up on his counterpart in Gambit.
Quager missing the Q there, but HBTX is keeping these invasions coming of the jungle.
You also see that Ezreal has bought the Sheen and has bought the tier, stacking that up, and a little bit of action going on in the bot lane, but not much is going to come for that. Both mid laners looking really, really low right now.
Oh, Janna roaming up. Gambit in the area is going to be spotted on that ward before he clears it out. Final Boss of Ohio just been proxying his butt off. Is going to find Gambit here. The short jump, but the pillar will stop that engage. Is going to hit the Shaco box itself. Let's see.
And you can already see that proxy is looking it's working really well. That turret, that top turret is down to 3 plates, already getting the gold from 2 of them into that Trundle's pocket.
Yeah, and we got some pretty good progress here on bot side. Camere is alone, but they are going for a dive here. Let's see if they have the damage. They do. Leona, classic dive champion. It's a little greedy from the side of Toledo to force her to be in a solo lane like that, especially with the wave pushing in. Lord Bonk Bonk is going to pick up a kill, kind of equalize it here, and is in a really good spot. He's got the Sheen going. He's got his tier stacking. That Ezreal is very accelerated now. It's a really good game state for him.
Yeah, and that was really good map awareness from Miami as well. They saw that the Janna was up top dealing with that Trundle and with that Shaco. They saw that the Caitlyn was alone under tower. What are you going to do with Leona? You're going to dive on her. You're going to get a really nice CC chain and take her down. That kill gets that Ezreal to finish his Triforce, and Lord Bonk Bonks in his first game is looking really good right now.
Yeah, he's got great farm. He's way ahead of the Caitlyn, and generally just a favorable game state. They got great progress on the towers. Final Boss of Ohio still proxying.
And that kill on the Caitlyn got Miami that first feat of strength. They got the first 3 kills for their side, for their team, so they're 1 feat of strength away from getting that bonus of the upgraded boots.
Yeah, Gambit going to be caught here by Final Boss of Ohio, proccing that lethal tempo. He's just chewing through him. He does have amazing amounts of damage. Let's see if the support can bail him off, and she cannot. This guy is completely 1v9, running through the jungle. He's going to use the pillar to get out of there. He will walk over a ward, but I think he should be out scot-free.
That was disgusting. He just walked into his home, took everything he had, and walked out. including the Raptors on the way out.
Yeah, and the amount of sustain he gets from that Ravenous Hydra Starter, great item on Trundle, especially for the playstyle he's going for with these proxying waves, is really going to enable him to play aggressive, be a bully. HBTX going to stop Mundo here, or do his very best. Oh, getting a lot of damage, going to force him to ult. Going to take a tower shot. HBTX, though, getting a little greedy. Like I said, Mundo is deceptively dangerous. He has a lot of damage. Solar Flare going in on top of the Caitlyn. Stunned up. Let's see if they have the damage. There is an Ignite, and they will take her down. Gamma Ray going to be falling to Lord Bonk Bonk and Beans in the bot lane.
What a beautiful CC chain from Beans again. And that Solar Flare landing on the Caitlyn who was flying back from the 90 caliber net. Just beautiful, beautiful placement.
Yeah.
Great stun up. And we see Miami now is moving up to those grubs to take him to get them even further ahead in this game.
And that's going to be 6 grubs, actually, for Miami. I didn't think they got that one earlier. I really thought that Toledo took one. That is going to be insane, especially if we see the Ruinous Otacon. That would be insane amounts of power for them and a pushing ability to end this game even faster.
Miami is opening up this game fast.
Yeah.
Not even 15 minutes in. There's a 5k gold lead. You have bounties on the top laner. You have bounties on the AD carry. And you just destroyed the top turret, getting Miami the feat of strength.
Yeah, Mr. Potato taking fire here. He is going to be taken quite low. Let's see if HBTX can finish the kill. It will be the Leona, but she's under tower. HBTX is looking in a lot of danger here. So is Beans, kind of trapped here in the back line. Let's see if she's able to get out. The Shaco box will enable her to backpedal her way out of there. But we do see the flash from Gambit. Looking for more, going to take down Quaker. Beans in trouble. The final boss of Ohio here to provide some backup. Immediately autoing down the Janna. And let's see if Gambit can get out of there. The Solar Flare comes down on his head, and so does the Pillar. And that's going to be a double kill for final boss of Ohio. But there's more action as Lord Bonkbok solo kills the Caitlyn in the bot lane, really showing the advantage that he's accumulated over this game. And look at the gold here. We see advantages for Miami in nearly every lane. Mid lane's a little bit favored towards Toledo.
Yeah, well, you see Trundle now has a 3k gold lead up on that Mundo, showing that Proxy's putting in the work, but this game is getting out of control really, really fast. I mean, we're not even 50 minutes in. We have 13 combined kills, and you see Final Boss of Ohio is just running him down and is going to get the kill on the Mundo under tower.
And the Mundo not respecting the rune choice here by Final Boss of Ohio, taking those extended trades. He gets so much value from the lethal tempo. He's able to auto just a ridiculous amount of times. And no amount of kiting is just going to help when he has that thing fully stacked. He's slowing you. He's got the Pillar. And we see more pressure being put down by HBTX in the jungle. He might have to backpedal. Let's see what he can do with this clone. Going to hit the Blast Cone to find his way out of there. The clone being hit, but really I think they're wise to the situation. Let's see what HBTX can do here on the Grom. Gambit in a really tough spot. Going to be hitting the box, but Mr. Potato in the area. Janna ult. Pretty effective, but the clone fear is big. Teleport in from the Mundo. Quaker in a really tough spot. Let's see if he can get out of here. Mundo is going to take him down with that Heartsteel proc, but they are going to find the jungler in Gambit. Beans going very aggressive. Lord Bonk Bonk with crazy damage, and meanwhile, Final Boss of Ohio is just sieging their base. And Mundo can't do anything but watch as he takes down the Caitlyn in the top lane, going to grab the inhibitor. Beans, another kill on this Victor, and Mundo might be next. Beans gonna find her way out of there, just living on 1 HP. And Final Boss of Ohio says, I'm done, we're ending this game.
16 minutes into the game, and it is an absolute stomp. I just want to highlight Beans for a second. She is everywhere, everywhere, everywhere at the right time.
Yeah,
she's
great
healing,
roles.
she's engaging, she's playing a really great game at the moment. And Final Boss of Ohio is just putting that permanent pressure up on the top lane. You can't respond to that with only the Mundo, only the Zac. You have to send your entire team to maybe stop the final boss.
No, this guy
Ohio.
is a raid boss. He's 1v9. He's got the whole crusher, all the items he needs. And right there, if they didn't have those respawn timers coming out as fast as they did, he would have ended the game himself.
For sure.
He has so much pressure in these side lanes, and it's really advantageous fights on all sides of the map for Miami.
This is a completely different Miami team than what we saw in the warm-ups last semester. These guys are firing on all cylinders, playing great League of Legends, being where they need to be at the right time. And I just want to highlight Lord Bonk Bonk. In his first game, like I said, 4-1-2, 300 gold bounty. He's playing a great game on this Ezreal. You
Yeah,
saw the solo kill onto the camera.
I know. In his debut game, he's looking really polished on his pick. Great CS, great positioning all over the map. He's gotten great macro ults just to push his tempo. And we see people trying to match this Trundle and just failing and falling in each instance. So they'll definitely have to keep that in mind because they're lacking on Nexus turrets right now. But an important thing to note is now Nexus turrets, after a while, I can't remember the exact timing. 3 minutes, they do respawn. So once you lose those, you're not just down and out like you were before. So there is an added layer of defense to your Nexus, but I'm thinking that Fido Boss of Ohio doesn't much care about that and will take them down because he has evolved to his final form, a turret muncher.
Final boss of Ohio is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and he's biting all them minions, biting all them turrets, and that guy's just getting huge. A little action going on in the bot lane. Quagert firing some autos and sending his orb out on that Mundo. But
just some love taps.
Yeah, nothing much coming out of it, but the game's kind of calmed down a little bit. You saw Miami get that Herald, which they could possibly use toward end. Maybe we could see the Herald dancing on the victory screen.
I would love that. I really need that right now. It's been a rough week. There's a lot, you know. Oh, we do see Final Boss of Ohio just ignoring the Chaos Storm, walking straight through it, getting so much sustain on these minions. He's 1v3. Look how fast he is. The headshot going to be coming in.
He doesn't care
that
more people are attacking him. He's just going to eat the minions, heal up, so much sustain, and just run out of there with the extra movement speed. A little bit of action from the Zac diving in.
Look at this damage, and the peel back from Lord Bonk Bonk is great. He's going to get the ult down, and look at that Q. It is just chunking, and Quagert taking a tower shot. Nice.
Miami is giving pressure on all 3 lanes against Toledo right now.
Quagert taking another tower shot.
Toledo is being pushed back on their back foot. This is really, really tough in a really hard position to be in.
Yeah, because they can't be everywhere at once. They have threats in top, they have threats in bot lane now, they have to catch this tower. And Quaker's just going to pick up this inner with the addition of Final Boss of Ohio. They are going to be placing the Herald. I'm a little worried. That means we probably won't see it at the end of the game, but we do see Gambit getting a little too over-aggressive here. And and he's just skipping it because they do destroy. He doesn't care about the tower. He wanted the Mundo. And wow, he just one-shotted.
Oh, he went for the Nexus tower.
He's going for the Nexus tower.
What a big brain play, but I think inhibitors are up. That tower's not able to. Oh wait, no, he tore it down. They're going for the Nexus.
I think he's gonna fall here. Quagert is going to 500 IQ play there from Evil Lobster, but Quagert is going to take this inhibitor turret and down here in the bot lane.
You just see a little bit more turret damage coming through, trying to knock down those 3 outer or inner turrets, the base turrets, trying to get through so they can apply even more pressure.
And if I could just point out, sorry, Gambit doesn't have an item yet.
Oh my gosh.
It has no completed item.
Yeah.
So if you, our viewers at home, didn't understand how far behind he was put back in those early levels when he was invaded, this should give you an idea. He has no completed items. He just has boots and 2 components.
Meanwhile, HBTX on that Shaco has 2 completed items. I think everyone else has 2.
I think everyone has an item. I think Beans has an item.
Yeah.
Beans has an item and a half. And unfortunately, even more unfortunately for Gambit, he doesn't have an upgraded Smite yet. He's still sitting on stacks of that quest. Final Boss of Ohio going for the backdoor here. Let's see if he can do it. There isn't. Oh my god, look at the damage though.
He's healing.
He has crazy amounts of healing. Let's see if he can get through this Chaos Storm. He's still alive.
Oh. That was a bit of a crazy move from Final Boss of Ohio, but you know what? I respect it. I would have loved to see a game end like that.
Bit of an ego, but there is.
Oh, there's Otacon. There's Otacon like we were talking about.
This is, I believe, this looks like...
I believe this is the Ruinous Otacon.
Yeah, Ruinous, I think. Okay. I hope, because the other one's boring.
I don't see a real reason to taking this right now.
I don't see a reason not to.
You know what? You're right. That's the bronze player in me coming out.
I know. It's just like, oh, big monster. I don't want to fight it. Oh, so it will be Voracious Otacon, actually.
I see.
Mainly because I think they changed the amount of kills that you need to be so... They changed it to be easier, but like I still have barely ever seen it.
I mean, the game does check kills at 14 minutes, and I think most of the action happened in like the last couple or so. So it makes sense that we got the Voracious Otacon.
That's true.
Yeah.
Let's see if I'm curious if Final Boss of Ohio did pick that up. He doesn't have the TP, which is a big part of why it's so as I was mentioning earlier, like a big part of the lethal combination. HBTX taking some fire. He's going to kite back the clone being sent into their front line. HPTX also caught here, but he does have that respawn buff. Is going to be taken down, but he, as we said, is just going to pop back up right in the base. Final boss of Ohio running into the bot lane. Still a little greedy. He might be caught
He's
here
gonna
by the
run this
Janna.
Mundo down.
But
He's autoing. He's eating. He's chomping.
I don't know if I like this. Final boss of Ohio getting really greedy. And 4 members of Toledo just chasing him down. He doesn't have the ability to take them on because the Mundo, the Thornmail, is just crippling the ability of Final Boss of Ohio to just sustain through all the damage of Toledo. They've gotten to a lot of their item spikes.
Yeah, and Final Boss of Ohio had a little bit of room to do that. He had the revive up still, and you saw him fly back to the base. But I think right now, Miami just needs to slow the game pace down a little bit. They're getting a little overzealous, but they're so far ahead. I think play for objectives, get a couple more items, and then, big 3-lane push maybe to end this game out.
Yeah, and I think Final Boss of Ohio started as kind of like more. Oh, hold on. As I was speaking about him, he takes a huge chunk out of the Zac here. Let's see if they can catch Mundo.
He found the Janna.
Oh,
he found the Janna.
Oh,
what
great
a flash.
Great flash by Janna there. Still walking around. They did end up taking down Mundo. HPTX going really aggro under their tower. Let's see. I think they don't know it's the clone. Great ult there from Lord Bonk Bonk going straight, and HPTX is going to take down the Janna, and Miami is looking for an angle to end. HPTX, great shockwave there by Quager into the combo. Lord Bonk Bonk going full aggro just to end this game, trying to take out as many members, and that snipe is going to be absorbed there by Beans. Do they have the ability to end? It doesn't look like they are going to go for it. Final Boss of Ohio healing up here.
They're just going to take all 3 base turrets, take the inhibitors, get out of there. But wow, what an amazing shockwave from Quager, catching 3 of the Toledo players.
That turned a lot around, and really, if you think about it, that was just them kind of trying to use that Voracious Otacon buff, getting as much pressure as they could, because like, we may not have been able to end, but we'll do what we can, leave. And, they haven't given much away. They're up gold from that exchange. HPTX just taking more and more from this jungle. Baron is now on the table. And let's see if Miami... Oh, yep, immediately.
Looks like they're already starting it
yeah,
up.
they knew what was happening. They went straight for that. And looks like they're going to try and use this as the final nail in the coffin.
Miami is in a really powerful position, and that is the Baron being secured for Miami University. They want to close this game out as soon as they can. And with that Baron, with a Baron wave, I think they can do just that.
I can't think of a better way to do it, but you know what I can think of is Final Boss of Ohio getting ganked by 4 members of Toledo again. And I don't want to see that. It's smart. Smart by him, backing up a little bit. Maybe he's realized he's less of like, a tarantula and more of a mosquito now. He's still really strong, don't get me wrong, but if they send all their members on him,
Oh, teleport coming out.
He's insane teleport. Mundo has no CC to interrupt that.
Go into the jungle. He's just going to give that Baron buff to that bottom wave, try to push it in while these 3 start sieging the mid lane.
So we're looking at like a...
It's
a 1-4-1.
It's
4-1, yeah. Let's see. Oh, it takes a munch there. Let's see. HPTX is also moving forward. Lord Bonk Bonk. They're going to try to get some damage down on these towers. Another good shockwave. Going to find the Caitlyn. Silence Chaos Storm on the clone, but I don't think it'll be enough. Miami looking to end these games. Beans diving deep. A lot of damage there. Zac staying relatively tanky. HPTX shut down, but I think Miami's just looking to close this one out, and they will do just that. Great game 1. I loved what I saw from Miami there. I mean, we got a little bit of ego at the end. I mean, it was just having fun, but a really, really strong team, a great composition, really fits a lot of their play styles. I really liked, like you said, Lord Bonk Bonk on that Ezreal. Looked very strong. I mean, I'm just really impressed. It looked like a more refined version of what we were trying to achieve in the preseason. And I, for one, am expecting great things.
Miami University taking down University of Toledo that first game in very dominant fashion.
Yeah.
That was just a speedster of a game. You hate to see it on the side of Toledo.
They had some
really
great
good moments.
I was really impressed by that Janna flash. I think that the top laner, despite having a little bit of a disadvantage jungle wise, really ended up being quite useful with his
Hmm.
itemization, had good heartsteel stacks. So we'll see if we can get more of a even jungle state in the next game.
Yeah, and we'll get that second game to you right after this break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back. We are in Champ Select for Game 2. Devin, what kind of shakeups do you want to see from that Game 1 going into this next one?
Well, I want to see a Shaco ban from the side of Toledo for their best interests, and we do see a Skarner ban coming through. Smart ban. I think that champion is still really broken. He's kind of in like that pre-Casante phase where
Yeah,
it's like under
yeah.
the radar broken, where it's like, oh well, you just know to ban it either, or you just let it through, and it's just disgusting.
Looks like Toledo's going to ban out Corky.
Another really strong pick on the
Yeah,
patch right now. Seeing a lot of play ADC, not even mid lane. Really strong, consistent damage, and a really safe pick. And it is going to be that
the
Shaco
Shaco ban.
ban along with Sejuani banned from the side of Miami. And we are going to see a Yone ban on 3.
I think that Shaco ban is really smart from Toledo. I mean, you saw HBTX just terrorizing Gambit in the jungle,
Yeah,
not letting him do anything.
it gave him so much agency on the map just to
Yeah,
go wherever and just be kind of like a nuisance. It wasn't even like he was carrying; it was more like he was just like a mosquito that you're just like, oh, I can't get rid of that thing. And then we are going to see a Karthus locked in a similar vein for HBTX. Going to pick that one up. Really fun fact that I learned yesterday is that um, Karthus not only has the most deaths on average of any champion, he also has the most damage on average on every game of any champion.
and it looks like Gambit's gonna lock in the Amumu. Little. I've seen a lot of Amumu gameplay
Okay.
lately.
You're talking to an Amumu savant
Oh
here. Yeah,
really?
so
Oh really?
specifically support. Let me preface that.
Oh, ooh.
And I think it's so crazy. Half of the time, you don't even know how you hit your Q. But I love Amumu's ult. It is such a great
I agree.
ability. It's on a shorter cooldown late game, and it can change the scope of an entire team fight, especially with paired up with something like a a Jax, but that is Demacia locked in, and I love it. I think that that champion is incredibly fun to watch, and you just spin to win, and you spin and you win.
Yeah, it looks like
So
we have a couple of shakeups on Miami side too. Mikey J's coming in to play top, and Solo Zach is coming in for AD carry.
yeah, Mikey J known a bit more for these like bruiser type
Mm-hmm.
champions.
Yep.
He is quite familiar with the Jax, so I think he knows exactly what is annoying to play as the Jax and picked exactly what he thinks
And
would suck.
we've seen some of his Garen gameplay before, and
It's pretty
can
good.
be pretty
Yeah,
nasty.
it's gonna be
So
pretty good.
big
So
fan of that pickup.
we see the karma. I imagine that's going to Quagert actually. That is
Yeah.
something that
Yep.
he's played in the past. Karma mid gives a lot of utility, can give some consistent damage. It can be built a lot of different ways. We do see the Lysandra locked in
Interesting.
response. Another great team fight ult
Yeah.
can be really good to isolate some of the carries if they pick in something that is a little bit more that you if you overstep at all and Lysandra is able to get her claws on top of you, it is really hard to play once you're Lysandra ulted. So
Yeah.
it's similar to like just the Malphite ulted, taking out one target and saying you're not allowed to play the game.
I'm interested to see what Miami's going to do for the bot lane. I'd assume that Toledo's maybe going to ban not Leona, they're
Varus,
going to ban Varus, which is interesting to say the least. But
I would like to see a Leona ban like you said
yeah,
because I think she had so much beans just looked amazing on that
yeah.
pick. That's one of her signature champions.
No, not the Sivir ban.
Oh, I love the Silver ban. I hate
Oh,
watching that champion win.
I'm such a Sivir proponent. I love that
Really?
champion.
Oh, it's just so auto. It's like, okay, you start to do damage like what, 15, 20 minutes into the game?
she was the first champion that I ever played in this game, and
Really?
I will always hold a
I just
special
like the
place in my
pizza
heart.
skin. I like the
I
pizza
don't
skin
even
a
like
lot.
the pizza skin.
You know,
I run Blood Moon.
You know what's great about the pizza skin though is the chromas are each different toppings on the
Yeah,
pizza.
it's
I
awesome.
love that. I hate black olives though. Can't do black olives on
Really?
pizza. No.
What do you think about pineapples on pizza?
Okay, don't just stop. Let's
Waiting
go back to the
for,
draft.
waiting for that
I don't
second
want to
ban.
hear it.
Waiting for that second ban from Miami to come through. Maybe something targeted towards. Let's have three 80 carry bans. Sorry, that Jinx coming out from Toledo. Maybe a support ban here, or it's going to be that Caitlyn not letting Camera Ray play that like they did in that game one.
Yeah, it looked all right on it. Camaray had some good pressure in lane until Beans had something to say about it with that dive. Um, but let's see what Camaray opts to play.
Yeah, with 580 carries being taken off the board, the pool's a little bit limited, but
Yeah,
that
it's a bit
Ezreal
tight.
is still up.
Yeah, Ezreal may be a pick of contention here. Solo Zach looked pretty great on the pick. It would be pretty effective. Playing any pick into a Jax is going to feel a little bit tough. MF going to be locked in a really good wombo combo for the side of Toledo in these team fights. If they can get an effective Amumu ult into an MF, it could be really nasty.
Could we possibly be seeing an Amumu bot lane? Amumu support with that MF? It's kinda risky, it's
Uh,
kinda risky. It could be
I
crazy.
mean,
Put the Jax in the jungle, maybe flex something top?
I don't know. I feel like the Amumu support is my thing.
I
Not a lot of team like it has some play, but like it 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 was really big and now it's not so big.
I may be coping hard, but I would love to see that. But we are gonna get that Ezreal again and that Leona. Beans, I wanna see some crazy stuff happen with this
Yeah,
Leona
and
this game.
I'm interested because both of them looked really great on those picks. They opted to ban the Vars and the Jinx instead, which is a bit questionable in my mind, but
Yeah.
we'll see if that pans out into anything because like I mentioned last game, they don't have a ton of sometimes Ezreal can be a bit weird because he doesn't have that consistent DPS that you'd
Mhm.
associate with like a lot of traditional ACs, and we are going to see the Braum locked in. Great Braum game. You got a lot of stuff that you can deny
Oh, yeah.
with your door.
The Karma Qs, the Ezreal
Yeah,
Qs.
denying a lot of the
Yeah.
poke and a lot of good disengage, and another thing to slap on top of that wombo combo with the Braum ultimate can be really good if used effectively. And really, it's just kind of about hands now. Who can navigate these team fights better? Because I mean, as much as I think that the wombo combos are great from Toledo, and it's very prescribed team comp in how they play out these fights. I think that as long as HBTX gets some kind of gold under his belt, he
Mhm.
has items. He's going to do, even if he's blown up in these fights, he's going to do a ridiculous amount of damage.
I'm a little
So
bit nervous about this draft. I mean, you see, Miami has a really poke heavy comp with that Karma, with that Ezreal. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but you have that huge dive comp coming in from Toledo. You have the Amumu who's just going to queue in there and ult. You have the Lissandra who's going to do the same thing. And on top of that, you have the Misfortune who's just going to make it rain that entire time.
yeah, and you don't have a ton of disengage here in Miami. You do have the Karma, the Mantra shields, the Mantra stuff, but I am a little bit concerned. It can be a bit dicey, especially because it's such a prescribed, such a
Yeah,
blueprint, a
yeah.
textbook team fighting comp from the side of Toledo. So definitely going to be a spicy one. Let's see how it pans out, and we'll be right back. And we are back in for more action. Toledo, Miami. Let's see what they got.
Yeah, this is game 2 in this best of 3 series. So we're excited to see what happens, but you know, the first couple minutes of the game aren't too exciting. Couple wars being placed, just getting in that key points of the jungles to block an invade.
And we got penguinos being thrown up in the air.
Oh
And
yeah.
I always like to look at the skins. That's something I've always
I
done.
saw Quegert with the fairy court karma skin.
Underrated. I prefer
Big fan.
Darkstar.
Nah, overrated.
Okay, Darkstar, the empowered Q is so cool looking. It's like a
Overrated.
black hole. I no idea what that Israel skin is.
I have no idea what that is. For
Yeah, he has to hit a skill
either.
shot. Maybe it's Heartsteel. I don't know.
I don't think that's Hearthstone.
Um,
The lunar eclipse from Beans on that Leona.
I don't. I have.
Pentakill?
Yeah, that's
Pentakill
Pentakill. That's the
Karthus?
new Pentakill.
Yeah, I have that one. Don't mean to
Um,
flex on you or anything.
whoa. It was Pumpkin Prince of Mumu, and then I think that's Candy.
No, that's the bank robber one.
Oh,
with
that
the
one's
vault.
good. I had a friend who used that all the time. Shout out Jonathan Eldar.
Is that not Coven Lissandra?
It is Coven.
It is Coven? Yeah, Lissandra doesn't have many skins.
Okay,
Bladebeard's
the
my
empowered
favorite.
mantra on the wave. Mr. Potato
Yeah,
duking it out here.
a little bit of poking here and there. Another Q coming out from Mr. Potato. Not much happening, but I do want to point out that Mikey J did opt to take Ignite this game. So no teleport shenanigans. He's just going to be running and gunning this entire game.
I feel like every Garen now, you don't really, and maybe unless you're in really high elo, you don't really.
Both champions spinning at the same time. Jack's getting a little bit better of the trade there. A little bit of poke coming on to solo Zach in the bottom. Mid lane, not too much action happening.
Yeah, I mean, and without the TP, Mikey J does have a lot more threat in lane, especially these early levels. It's going to be really effective. And he can combo that with the Ignite R combo once he gets to 6. Is going to hurt a bit in the late game, but that's kind of whatever Garen does. You just hope that you can build up an advantage, be a threat in the side lane. Mikey J having the wave being pushed in towards him, leveling up, getting that 2. I assume he's going to go for the Q.
This mid lane is going to be interesting. Just a lot of Qs being thrown back and forth. But you did see there that Toledo got level 2. As the Jax dives in on the Garen, not much is going to happen. It's just going to go for that leaf strike, say hello.
No, but I think there is something that's going to happen. I think Mikey J has a really good angle to get pretty aggro here just because, you know, with the Ignite and level 3, he knows it. He's walking up onto this Jax. Any engage, really, if he gets that Q down and it doesn't get dodged by the leaf strike, or by the countering strike, I should say. I think he's got a great angle to take the top laner Toledo down here.
Looks like HBTX is just on that bot side. A little bit of spinning going on at the top lane. He's going to Q silence the Jax. A little bit of action going on. The Zenith Blade going in onto the Misfortune. Misfortune firing back, stunning up the Ezreal and solo Zach. Exhaust going on to Misfortune. First blood for HBTX and a double kill in the bot lane.
And it's a disaster for Toledo not getting any members, but Gambit here,
Oh,
flashed by Quagert. Great reaction time.
Oh, and there's action going all over the map. Amumu jumping in on Quagert. Quagert's just trying to get out of there. HBTX roaming up to try to stop it, but they're going to turn this fight around. Quagert getting the root onto Mr. Potato. HBTX is going to Q him down and is going to get that kill in the river. Maybe going for 2 on Gambit. These Qs are hitting hard. Gambit flashing out. HBTX coming out with 2 kills.
And that is huge for an early game Karthus. No one expected that, but really those fights were played pixel perfectly from Miami. Especially, I'm really impressed with Quagert's movement there.
I am too.
Being able to evade death more times than I could have counted there in the mid lane. Mr. Potato being forced off his wave. Quagert here teleporting to catch it and keep the pressure up. And we didn't even mention, that's 3 kills. That's the first
oh my gosh,
element of possible feats of strength here for Miami. And I like that they call it feats of strength because really what you're getting is empowered boots, which are feats on your feats of strength.
That was a huge swing in momentum for Miami University. They're sitting in a really nice position. The only thing is that Ezreal did burn both of those summoner spells that are crucial in this matchup in that last skirmish.
Yeah, Bean still has flash, but both bot laners of Toledo do have summoner advantage. And maybe they can use that to get some kind of momentum here, but it is going to be hard to swing it the other way. There's an early Sheen picked up, but we do have some pretty good damage. I mean, MF early game is definitely going to be providing some pretty big numbers in terms of these autos.
Leaf strike into the counter strike. Mikey J is just going to spin to dissuade Kong from getting in any further, and that's going to be that. Quaker getting a little root, trying to, onto Mr. Potato, not going to land, just going to back out of that one a little bit. But we see these two top laners just looking menacingly at each other.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Mikey J's is biding his time, waiting for his 6, because really any positive trade into Ignite can just spell the end for this Jax. I've played this matchup a couple of times myself.
And here's Gambit looking in, is going to miss the cube. Great side set by Quaker. Mr. Potato is going to go and not going to get anything. Quaker is going to be able to root him up. HBTX coming in and will get the kill. That is 3 for HBTX and 2 stacks on his newly purchased Dark Seal.
Yeah.
Little bit of trading going here on the bot lane. Solo Zach is going to try to run, but isn't going to be able to escape from that misfortune. Is going to be a kill going over to the side of Toledo on that misfortune.
Well played there from Toledo's bot lane, showing signs of life in this game. We see another Dark Seal being picked up from HBTX. You can kind of see his mentality, but Beans is being taken down here, taken pretty low. It is a Leona with the W, can mitigate a lot of that damage, is going to find her way out of that scuffle.
Yeah, Beans just going to eat all of that up. Not worry about it too much, but you see on our mini-map here that we are taking the grubs on that top side. HBTX is trying to get really far ahead of this game, and he's already up 53 to 37 in terms of CS, and he's up 3 kills too. It doesn't matter what champion HBTX is on, he's going to gap your jungler no matter what.
As long as it's AP.
Yeah.
I don't want to see this guy on like a
Xin Zhao.
Yeah, Xin Zhao. Yeah, I'm not feeling that.
Oh, he's going for the invade. Gambit's going to catch him when he's clearing his raptors, but it looks like HBTX is going to smite the big one down, getting the gold and getting his smite a little bit further to being upgraded.
Yeah, fun fact for our viewers out there, the large raptor, which is the big chicken. Oh, hold on.
A little bit of action going on. Kong's going to come down, say hello to HBTX at his blue buff, but not much going to come from that.
Got scared off. But as I was saying before, the Jax rudely interrupted me. Not cool. The big chicken is worth the same as all the little ones. So as long as you get that big one, it's really advantageous for you if you're invading. Good trade here from Mikey J. Gonna get the phase rush proc, but Jax is going to stack up his passive, makes his autos feel a bit bad.
Yeah, they're just spinning on each other, hitting each other with their empowered autos. Pretty much an even trade. Interested to see where this lane goes.
Yeah, I think Mikey J really has to be cognizant of the ult, and like I think for both laners, it's just a little bit scary.
Karthus ult coming out, maybe just get a little damage down across the board.
Yeah, it's just gonna help the lanes out a bit. I mean, it's not a huge avenue to use that early on, so it's just good to get it down.
Maybe get some Dark Harvest stacks, but not a kill shot by any means anywhere on
Oh,
the
and I
map.
just noticed, I don't know if you mentioned this, so Solo Zach is actually here on the Ezreal instead of Lord
Bonk Bonk.
Bonk Bonk. I'm going to miss Lord Bonk Bonk.
I am
Mumu here for the gank.
Gambit's going in a little deep. Beans just CCing him up. Quaker's coming down too. It's looking pretty doomed for Gambit. Misfortune is going to lay down all of those bullets. Not going to get anything. Quaker is going to hit the empowered auto. The empowered Q, excuse me, going to CC up that Braum. A double kill for Solo Zach, but they are going to take down Leona in return. Quaker is looking for that kill onto Camaray, and HBTX is right there too to back up if need be.
Yeah, maybe wishing he had saved that ult just for another minute.
What a Q from Mr. Potato, going to take down Solo Zach.
Yeah, HBTX trying to pick up some of these jungle camps as well as the wave, seeing if they can find an angle to dive to Cassandra. She's trying to get a back off, and I think she will. Gambit, where did my Gromp go?
Gambit's coming back in. Maybe was looking for a kill, but not going to get anything from it.
Cassandra able to slip out under their fingers. It's really a shame, but, you know, could be worse. It was a good roam from Quagert there to do well in the bot lane.
Jack's jumping in. They're going to spin on each other again. Mikey J is going to get stunned up as they trade autos, and Kong's going to get that last empowered auto. Just run away, taking the better of that trade. I do want to say, though, for a second, that I think Miami got a little overzealous there in that last fight in the bot lane.
I'd agree. I think we got to back it up a little bit. Just take a deep breath. Notice that we got an advantageous position in game state, and the Solar Flare going to go wide there.
Looks like not much is going to happen. They are going all in. They do have the Braum stacks going up on that Leona, but Braum's losing quite a bit of health. Is going to get that W proc onto that Misfortune, but Just some love taps, like you mentioned earlier. Not much going to happen there, but HBTX is
Oh,
looking in here.
Beans, what was that?
Oh,
You hate to
you hate
see
to
it.
see that. But it looks like Gambit's looking at mid lane while Kong's going into Mikey J onto the top lane. Great flash from Quagger in reaction, and it looks like the bot lane is just going to try to take this turret down while HBTX just backs them up a little bit more. Simplest Sage is going to get chunked down. Zenith Blade on to the Misfortune is going to go down by the hands of the HBTX. Another kill going over to him, 4-0. Quagger and Mr. Potato now trading a little bit. Great route onto Mr. Potato, getting a little bit of heal from that, but it's not going to be enough. Mr. Potato is going to take Quagger down.
Great play from both mid laners. I really like that fight. The empowered mantra W. Oh, but HBTX will pick up the kill with the ult. The Requiem coming down just in time to pick up Mr. Potato. And look at that. I imagine his Dark Seal is, oh, it's looking pretty nasty. 6 stacks.
6 stacks, 11
6 out of
minutes
10.
in.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's going to transition really well if he tries to, I think he's trying to pick up a Medjai's, I think.
I would hope so. That'd be
yeah.
be fun, some fun gameplay. But was that ultimate right off cooldown?
Yeah, I think he must have. Yeah,
timing.
he got it back from that play earlier bot side. And we are seeing, you know, despite Mikey J being up in CS here, it does, as the game goes on, kind of become a more Jack's favored matchup. HBTX completely zoning off along with Beans this Gambit from the Krugs, and they are going to try and get all 6 of them, and I think they will succeed. Great trade there by Quagger.
Is going to get that root onto Mr. Potato, but can't get any further in. Mikey J is just going to go for some tower plates as Simplest Sage has roamed up along with Gambit. It's looking kind of dangerous, but the bullet time onto Ezreal is not going to come to anything for Cameray. Meanwhile, Mikey J is just going to keep slinging his sword on that tower.
Yeah, we already see the fruits of their labor in terms of these grubs. We see Mikey J reaping the benefits, getting a lot of platings there from the top side. Jack's forced to back off. Oh, actually was taken down in the top side. A solo kill, we missed it, by Mikey J. And really, you know, showing that despite the more even game saying, oh, it's Solo Zach taken low here, empowered mantra, shield, Cameray going to be tagged by that Ezreal ultimate.
It's looking kind of doomed. Gambit going in. Great Q onto Solo Zach. Not enough shielding to get him out of there. The members of Toledo are looking quite low. Beans is going to get Gambit with that solar flare, but nothing. Oh, Karma. Quaker got an empowered Q to take down that Braum. A little bit of trading going in on the top side.
Mikey J might be cooked here. He's playing into a Jax with an ultimate up. He is going to be able to kite back. Doesn't have the leap strike to follow.
Oh, but Quaker doesn't want to stop. Great ultimate from Mr. Potato, shutting off that empowered route from Quaker. An interesting barrier, but there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
When a Karthus has your sights, there's only one choice, and it's going back to that fountain.
Yeah, and this Karth is going to opt to start the drag after securing that kill. So accelerated at this point, has so much gold. Look at that, it's accumulated 7,000 gold. That is 4,000 more than his lane counterpart, and that is just simply that is a really hard lead for the enemy team to overcome. Because like I said, even if Toledo executes their comp perfectly, gets a lot of that wombo combo damage down, they still have to deal with this incredibly fed with so much gold, so many items. This Karthus just sitting there dishing out damage before the passive ends, and it's really tough angle because a lot of Miami's team can capitalize on that damage.
Yeah, and HBTX has the first finish upgraded with the torch, has a fully stacked Dark Seal at 10, and has tier 3 boots. And as you can see there, Otacon will be spawning in the bot lane this match. Quagger is getting a little bit of poke down onto the Misfortune, but looks like they're going to go for Simplest Sage in the jungle here while they take down the blue buff. A little bit of action going on at the top lane. Mikey J is going to swing that sword, spin to win.
Take a few turret shots on the way, but he's looking relatively fine. He is Garen. He has that passive if he needs it. And yeah, I think Miami's in a pretty great spot to just push their lead. And I'm getting flashbacks of last game. HBTX just entering the jungle, taking what he wants when he wants. And this is just really tough to play here from Toledo. They don't have pressure in any lane. I mean, I got to give to Mr. Potatoes looking really good in these fights, despite being set behind pretty early, having to play into such an accelerated jungle. But you know, Quaker's right there with him in terms of these plays. Mikey J a little bit dicey here. Let's see if Gambit can land the Q. He cannot, but he has another one.
Looks like Mikey J is just going to try to run out of that. Gambit throwing another Q, going to miss. But it's so hard when you have the bottom and top outer lane turrets. Excuse me. While Mikey J just goes in onto the Jax, Gambit's going to Q in and stun him up for a little bit, but Mikey J is just going to run away. But like I was saying, it's so hard to deal with the pressure that Mikey J is putting up on the top lane and whoever's Miami is rotating into that bot lane when you have HBTX just running in. Beans is going to stun up Gambit in the jungle, but it's 3 against 2. Solozak trying to do what he can. The Requiem from Karth is going down, the Solar Flare, but the bullet time from Gamma Ray is going to dissuade them from any attacks. Mikey J did take down the Jax under tower. Ezreal is going to pick up a kill onto the Misfortune and the Braum. Is there anything more? I don't think so. Running away from these Lissandra ice pawns that explode to deal a little extra damage, but interesting fight in that jungle right there.
Yeah, another well-played fight from Mr. Potato. It does get a bit dicey, and I think it was a little bit more of that issue that we're seeing with an overextension from the side of Miami, getting a bit too confident. While they are ahead, it is probably not the best idea to fight a man down in the jungle. We really want to see, you know, we've seen a lot of involvement from Mr. Potato. We hope Quaker can get to these fights too. We just hope Miami will wait for him.
It's HBTX on Jax up here in the top lane, and he just absolutely decimates him with all that AP. 7-0-6. It looks like Misfortune is going to take down Solozak in the mid lane. Not enough shielding coming out from Quaker. But man, HBTX being able to solo a Jax like that is something you don't want to see if you're
He
Toledo.
just melted him like butter. And I mean, there was just, it was like he didn't even have time to auto. He didn't have time to do anything. And HBTX has become similar to what Final Boss was last game, just a raid boss.
Yep.
But unlike Final Boss, I don't think he's just going to be running it. He's going to be running into the base and dying anytime soon. I think he's just going to keep getting stronger. And really, 2 completed items. They've got the feats of strength online, so he can get those empowered shoes if he wants. And well, okay, hold on. Maybe I spoke too soon.
They are going to stun him up with the Braum passive, but Beans is there to dissuade them. Solar Flare coming down onto Gamma Ray is going to be able to pick up the kill alongside Simplest Sage. That Braum is going to go down. That is 2 for Miami University.
I did not speak too soon. I'm a genius. It was simply all part of an elaborate bait.
I never doubted
HBTX.
you for a second.
He knew he would survive because Beans was there. And Mikey J back here in the top lane. Where have we seen this before?
Just going to be spinning on top of each other, chipping each other down. But HBTX is going to get the slow in. Going to shred a little bit of his magic resist. Mr. Potato on Solozak, I think that is. Yeah, is going to have to pop the Hourglass, the Zonias. Quagger just missing that Q. Isn't going to be able to get the kill on Mr. Potato, but a great look in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's going to give them more pressure. Going to force Mr. Potato to back off here, but we do have his team coming to try and dissuade the push here. But those new Noxus turrets look pretty nasty. Mikey J finding out the hard way, taking a couple turret shots this game, but does secure some push there in the bot lane. Gonna try and heal up with that Garen passive, just sitting in the bush, looking pretty. And
they are going to surprise Simplest Sage in the jungle. Quaker is going to root him up. Solozak is there to provide a little bit of extra damage, but gets stunned up by Gambit while Gamma Ray throws down the ult. Meanwhile, Mikey J is coming and the Braum disengages with that ultimate. Maybe we'll get something here on Gambit. Ooh, what an interesting interaction there. I think
weird.
Beans Zenith bladed Gambit while he queued and just shot out of there, but Mr. Potato is getting low. Not much happening. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I think really good disengage, but we did see elements of what I mentioned earlier in this draft, that there is, if executed correctly, a really good potential to just blow up some of the members of Miami. And we do see some, you know, in return, some push given, but Mike J still pushing this mid lane quite aggressively. Gonna need to back up, but does get the inner turret in the mid lane. We really, ideally, would like to see some inhibitors taken that aren't mid lane. I think we want the best inhibitors to take are either bot or top lane. But any push is good push. HBTX still looking incredibly strong. No deaths. Has that Medjai's incredibly high stacked. Is just looking like, and then he also has those empowered sorcerer shoot. They're gonna melt through this Drake and gonna turn that into an even bigger lead.
But like you were saying, for Toledo, that was textbook. That's how you want to play the game. You get a large CC chain so that your Misfortune can just rain bullets on everybody. But Mr. Potato caught himself 3 against 1, isn't going to be able to get out of that even with the stasis. Another kill going down to HBTX.
And that's more on the Medjais, and Mikey J just keeping their attention towards the top side. And this is going to be the other variant. I'm so glad we got to see both. This is going to be, I believe, Ruinous or Voracious?
I believe this is
Ruinous.
Ruinous.
Yeah, Ruinous. So this one, you'll see once they take it down, will spawn a bunch of flowers in the pit, and if they auto those, their team gets the collective XP plus adaptive force buff. So it is, I like this. I think it's incredibly powerful. Camera Ray going to be taken so low. Let's see what this Requiem is going to do. And it's just going to one-shot the Misfortune, taken off the screen. Braum can't do anything about that one.
Even through the barrier, Camera Ray did not stand a chance against that Requiem.
No, and that's what that Crypt Bloom does. I mean, it's just so much damage to a low health target. And
Beans is going in. A little bit of stun up. Zach is going to try to, sorry, the Braum is going to try to disengage, but nothing can come of that. And Solo Zach is going to pick up the kill.
Well played there from the side of Miami, but I mean, at this point, they are just beating them down with their wallets. HBTX, oh, Mr. Potato tried to cancel that back. There is going to find nothing but air, but really just amazing play, knowing their power spikes. And let's take a look at the gold here. It's such a jungle gap. It is just, it puts the last one to shame. And Mikey J doing really well, fending for himself, side laning really well in this top lane, trying to keep the attention of Toledo.
Mikey J getting caught out 2 against 1 is just going to spin around, proc that phase rush, is going to just smite that Jax down.
He just got Garen.
Oh, he did get Garen. He got the full combo, the QW and ult.
Camera and ult. Chased down by this MF. And a really great solar flare going to be found. And HBTX is in the area, dishing out huge amounts of damage. Is he going to be stopped? No one can take him down. And he is just there to clean up. Beans happy to take it.
Even more kills for HBTX. That is a fully stacked Magi. He has doubled the gold of his opponent in Gambit, and he is looking unbelievably strong. That is somebody that I do not want to have against me in my game.
We saw it's just impossible to team fight because he just gets in the vicinity, throws a couple of Qs down, even just presses his E, and your whole team just starts to like crumble. You cannot play into this guy. He has so much damage, but he may have overextended a little bit. But no, look at the damage on this guy. He's getting a little low, but I don't think he cares.
He doesn't care because he can just get in there. His AoE is going to deal a little bit of damage, and he has the ult. The Requiem is just going to give everyone a whole lot of damage. Meanwhile, Mikey J can just run on in while Solo Zach is throwing Mystic shots from the back.
But they all are going to regen here in this fountain, so it looks like they might just take the inhibitor.
Mr. Potato looking for possibly something, gets stunned up immediately, however, gets the root off, is going to heal up. Gambit gets the Q onto Beans, she's going to shield and just run out of there. Great locket from Beans.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like still a bit of an overextension for Miami, but it looks like they are going to avoid punishment for the most part. Losing 5 stacks there on the Medjais is HBTX, but I don't think he cares too much. He got a lot of Cryo there taking down that top inhibitor. See if they can maybe grab the mid one at some point. I imagine they're going to be looking similar to last game towards the Baron spawn to close out this game. They have the they have the Voracious buffs from Otacon, so it'll empower all the objectives that they take. So it definitely will be something that they might look to, and really it's just a matter of time.
Speaking on those empowered objectives, those the Infernal and Mountain Drake that Miami already has are empowered by Otacon as well.
And the Grubs.
Yeah, so they're looking in a really they're in a really good position.
And that's decap. That's decap. not if it wasn't like a rough game state enough for Toledo. That's decap on this Thanos of a Karthus. Like, this guy is so incredibly strong in this game, and he just kind of breathes on you, and you take half your HP.
Beans just smiling out of the jungle, threatening a little bit, is going to stun up Simplest Sage. Meanwhile, HBTX gets there, and Mikey J Garens all over that Braum. Gets a kill for Miami University. HBTX still pushing forward in that Karthus, gets a little bit of extra move speed. I think he just wants to
I think he wants
kamikaze
something.
here.
Yeah, he wants something. I mean, he's so incredibly strong. Anyone he gets near is just immediately blown up.
Gambit has nowhere to go, even getting stunned up. He's in that AoE from HBTX, and they're just going to chase him down. Great Zenith Blade from Beans is going to be able to pick him up. HBTX, another kill. Mikey J is just going to go Garen all over that Amumu. A double kill for HBTX. Mr. Potato not looking good at all. Another Zenith Blade, but great ult from Mr. Potato to try to heal up for a little bit. Meanwhile, Jax jumps in. Another kill for this Karthus, and this game is just so far gone from Toledo's hands.
Mikey J said it's Beyblade time. Went in, and look at these mantra shields. They're just so massive. It's preventing. Normally you could just try and burst HBTX, but he's had so much fuel. Combined with this Leona, combined with this team comp, is just going to be the end for Toledo, and that is a Miami University 2-0 for their first game of ESC.
What great gameplay that we just saw out of Miami University in both games. I mean, HBTX is playing out of his mind. You ban a Shaco, he'll run you over with Karthus.
Yeah, he's got a pretty great champion pool. He's got a lot of mastery on a lot of these champions, and we saw more of the same good stuff. We saw a lot of the great side laning by Mikey J. Looked really great. Had a consistent CS lead. I really liked what we saw again from Beans. Was great roaming on the map, matching the roams from the enemy support, and was really good in these team fights, getting that solar flower down, getting on the right targets and bursting them, and allowing HBTX to thrive in these team fights. And really just another good, consistent Ezreal performance as well. And Quagert, underrated with these flashes, great reaction times, great playing the team fights, and all around the board, I think I'm really impressed with how Miami has a great idea of what they want to do, and they know how to, the team comps that they need to execute it. They seem very in tune with their champions. It's all coming up great.
Even with their limited practice time that Miami had, even with subbing in new players from game 1 to game 2, the chemistry was there.
I mean, I couldn't even notice a difference. You could take off the nameplates. You could tell
exactly.
me. It looked fantastic, phenomenal, and I'm really encouraged from what I saw tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where Miami goes. Great matches against Toledo, but we have some more games coming up, I think, this weekend.
It would be Saturday, yeah. So tune in on Saturday. We're going to have more action-packed ESC at 8 p.m. on Saturday. Make sure you tune in. We'll be there. It's going to be great.
It's going to be an amazing time. I'm excited to see where this team goes. I hope they can, make a great run in this regular season.
Yeah, so stay tuned. It's redhawks.gg. Check out the website. This has been Devin the D-Doc O'Connor.
This has been Isaac Rhythm Arredondo.
And this has been your Miami University League of Legends team, ESC action. Thank you so much. Have a great night.